Welcome to the Business Spotlight series. My name is Kay Cote, and I am your podcast host on the show today. And today on the show, our guest is Alan Ramsay, owner and director of Associaction Enterprises Limited. I'm so excited to have this conversation with Alan to talk about his business journey to business ownership, some of the best practices, and maybe some of the challenges that he's faced along the way. If this is your first time on our channel, be sure to like and subscribe to get notifications when we drop episodes like this. Welcome, Alan. It is so great to meet you. Thanks for being on the show.
Oh, you're welcome. Great to meet you as well. Lovely.
Well, let's dive in. Share a little bit about yourself and then a little bit about your company.
Okay. Well, my journey into business has taken quite some time. I didn't just jump into it as a young man. It's taken a little bit of a while. I left school with a basic education. University was never an option for me, and I went straight into the world of work. But I was very lucky in that I managed to get a commercial apprenticeship with a defence contractor, and that was really my first insight into how businesses are run. And the way that the apprenticeship worked was that it provided me with an opportunity to experience lots and lots of different functional departments and everything and anything from purchasing to contracts to sales to project management, so on and so forth. And very fortunately for me, they also sponsored me to carry on my education. So I was able to go to university at part-time in the evenings and get my business qualifications. And then once that came to an end, I decided I wanted to change something else. I went into the music industry, completely different. Yeah, shocking, I know. And I was a very keen performing musician, and my band was doing quite well. But I met along that journey, I met an entrepreneur who was starting a new company that was delivering music education in the contemporary and popular music field, and he really wanted to provide kids with the opportunity to study along the same basis that traditional music was taught. Popular and contemporary music instruments, so guitar, bass, drums, keyboards. And during that journey, we went from training musicians to be teachers through to getting into the further education and higher education markets in the UK. But that was particularly interesting because I came in as a friend of his, really, through a mutual contact, and we both decided that it would be a good fit. And so to see that company grow from literally nothing to a multi-million-pound business in the United Kingdom was was a very interesting journey to undertake. And that was I was there for a very long time and ended up in a very senior management position. And then that journey ended, and I thought, well, what is it that I'm going to do? And I had the fortunate circumstance to meet with what are my two fellow co-owners now, and we had a chat about things. They were looking for somebody with senior management experience, transferable skills, and the opportunity to take on a directorship and then have a company of your own to move forward was intriguing. So I guess the moral of the story is that your entrepreneurial journey can start at any time in your career. And for me, it was in my middle years, but 15 years later, here we are with one of the largest concerns in the UK that does what we do. And every day has something different. There are many challenges in our industry, which I'll go on to explain later if you wish. But yes, there are always surprises along the way, and I think that's what my journey shows.
Wow, well, that is so inspiring off the bat. I absolutely love that you've been in a variety of opportunities and you've taken the stepping stones into each one. And so I'd like to, talk about what's the current business you're working on and what are the problems you're trying to solve within your current company?
Sure. Well, so we're quite niche and quite strange, but our companies, I have three companies. I have Associaction Enterprises Limited, and I have a second company called Management Enterprise Limited, and they both do the same function. By definition, we are association management companies. And what that really means is that our clients are associations or trade bodies with memberships that want to share best practice within their industry. And we sit in a little Goldilocks area where the association is too big to be run simply by volunteers, but is too small to have its own offices and its own employees. And so we sit in that really, really strange place. And what we do for them is we provide a full suite of administrative functions like any other company would have. So apart from your membership scheme, of course, you have your comms, your finance, legal, web design, hosting. And the big thing for us is we're also a professional conference organizer. So we do all their conferences, symposia, meetings, webinars. So it's an extremely interesting and creative area to be in, where you're dealing with thousands and thousands and thousands of different customers from different clients, because it's not one client we have in one industry. It's many clients across all sorts of different industries. And that would include intellectual property law, medical sciences, drug metabolism, goods transport and logistics, clinical trials, quite a wide range of stuff, really. And so that poses every single day unique and interesting challenges.
That's exactly what I want to dive into because I just love how robust the company is and the companies are. And as you're going into this, there's so many moving parts. So what are some of the challenges that you're currently facing and how are you overcoming them?
Well, I think like in any business, you've when you're working with clients, I think you've got to look at two things simultaneously. You've got to look at your own business and make sure that it's doing what it should do for the benefit of you as an owner, but of course for the benefit of your employees as well, because we like to view ourselves as a small family. And at the same time, you've also got to view or take a view that what's in the best interests of your clients. And really, the main challenge I think we've got, because we have so many different clients doing so many different things all at the same time, is the management process of that. And I think to juggle all those elements, you need really, really good people to help you do it. And I think that's one of the key successes that we have, is that we've got really, really good people to help us achieve what we need to do.
That is incredible. Well, let's talk about your team. Now, your core team, how many team members do you currently have? And then are you also working with contractors or other entities alongside? What does that look like for you?
Okay, so we have a very, very small team. I think there are 10 of us in our central head office, which is in central UK. And then on the south coast, we have a small office that deals with all our technical requirements. And by and large, pretty much everything that we do is in-house. In terms of the administrative functions, this is in terms of running the businesses or the administrative function of
Mhm.
our clients. However, that's not the whole role that we have, and especially when we're delivering large conferences in Europe, let's say, for instance, then we have a network of colleagues from destination management companies which help us with our on-site logistics, and we have a very good relationship with an AV conference producer as well. So we are self-sufficient in terms of our administrative skills, but I think it's important for any business that you need to utilize people who are really good at doing what they do. And if I don't have that skills, let's find somebody who does. So having external contractors to help us in areas that we require help, such as venue locations or huge event productions, then you find the right people. And so over the years, you develop a network of very good people. And it's the relationships, I think, that count. Doing the business is fine, but I think the business goes better if you have well-developed relationships to such an extent that you work together as a singular team, even though you're disparate and apart physically. And again, that's something that I think is very important. It's a sort of a key factor in the way that we work.
Wow, that is so true. It really is about the people and the processes. Now, how are you? That's a lot you're managing. How are
Mm.
you finding these people to put in place? And are there challenges in like recruitment or retention, things like that?
Okay, so it's a great question actually, because I think recruitment is one of those key things, and I'm afraid I have a very different approach to it. I always said that given enough time and effort, you can, by and large, train uh, anybody to do anything. But what you can't give them is the personality and the character and their own drive and their own ability to fit in with the rest of the team that you've got. I saw a really interesting quote from Richard Branson the other day, and he said that in his view, you can train people to leave, or you can treat people to stay. And it really resonated with me, because I think our ethos is very similar, that we can give you the training, but actually it's the way that we communicate with each other and create a very tight bond within the team, which enables us to select the really, really good people that we want, who we know are going to buy into the concept and are going to stay with us for a long time. And that's why we have very little staff turnover, and certainly the external partnerships, because I think that's also a thing to consider, is that our external partnerships have also lasted for years and years and years, because we invest in the relationship by taking time to get to know people and understand who they are as people. That's really key for me.
Wow. Well, that uncovers so much, especially when you're thinking about growth and growing into other countries or other areas, building those team members. And what are some ways you're finding, like, if are you currently trying to still add more partners and staff? Are you in a growth period like that? Or are you more focused on just like fostering the people that are already in your network?
That's again, that's a great question. I think people always look at small businesses and go, grow, 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 grow as quickly as you can, get all your revenue in. But actually, in some instances, you don't need to do that, because I think, I would rather have excellence over a few strategic partnerships than be average over many. So it's for us. This is a period of COVID recovery. The COVID period for business was just awful, especially in events and conferencing, which is a big chunk of what we do, and the industry is still in recovery. Although I must say that this year, the number of delegates that we're seeing coming to our events has been phenomenal, much larger than pre-COVID. But I think for us, I think we're in a happy place, and we have a plan whereby growth, natural growth. And I'm not talking about sort of aggressive upselling or going out and trying to find new clients, but I think there's just natural growth in the clients that we have currently, which keeps us nice and happy and in a good place. And I should say, one of the other, and it might be interesting to you and guys that engage with the show, is that we don't do any proactive marketing at all.
Mm-hmm.
We simply grow through word of mouth and references.
Mm.
And I think that's such a powerful tool that it makes new partnerships much more engaging, much more quickly, rather than just simply going out and saying this is what we do in all sorts of media avenues. It's something that we've not wanted to engage with, because I think if people realize how what we can do for them, they will come to us.
Oh,
It's a
definitely.
quirk.
Well, that's incredible, because that was going to be one of my questions, was around your marketing, and you answered really well in how just the overall work you're doing and the organic growth and references and referrals and things like that. So this has been such an inspiring conversation, and I'm so thankful for this. And now I'd like to dive into a fun part of the conversation called our rapid fire questions, where you answer very top of mind, first thing that comes to mind. So are you ready for some rapid fire?
Okay, let's give it a go.
All right. Question number 1 is, what is a key to success for you?
People.
Yes.
People are fabulous. They do amazing things every day, and it's a gift. You learn so much. So people, yeah.
And what is a piece of advice you have for other business owners?
Oh, know your space. Make sure you're ready. Work with really good people, but um, also have a life balance.
Mm, the big one. And
Yeah.
number 3 is, it could be a book, piece of content, a podcast. What is something you've taken in most recently?
Um, I'm going to go off piste here a little bit. I recently read Stephen Hawking's Brief History of Time,
Hmm.
and because I'm in my personal life I like a little bit of amateur astronomy, and when you consider just how huge the cosmos is and how unlikely it is that we exist, it kind of makes me think that every day is a gift. So use it wisely.
I absolutely love that. I just put that on my reading list.
Oh, there you go.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
And the final question, if you could wave a magic wand and overnight rapidly improve one aspect of your business, what would it be?
Um, God, yeah, okay, yeah. This is an easy one. I would like the United Kingdom to rejoin the EU, if I'm honest. I
I
feel
love the
very
honesty.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why that referendum went the way that it did, but I think for businesses in the UK, it was a real surprise to find that we were going to be leaving the EU, and I think it raised a lot of problems for especially for small businesses who work on the continent, and it's still doing, because the position is still quite unclear. So if I could do anything, I would just, I feel European, so I would rejoin the European Union for those who understand the situation between the UK and the EU.
That makes a lot of sense, especially when it comes to like international business and different things. I'm sure along with that are a factor in that as well. Would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. There are pitfalls all over the place, and I still think, because of the confusion in the relationship between the UK and the EU, still, because we have this really crazy border with Northern Ireland and the Irish Republic, and
Mhm.
it's it it hasn't. The promise was that things were going to be easier, and we would be the masters of our own destiny and all that kind of stuff. But in actual fact, I don't
Mhm.
think that's true whatsoever. And so I think, for small businesses dealing with Europe, I think we would all much prefer to be in the EU than not.
Mhm.
Mm.
Well, definitely. Well, thank you for shedding light on that with me, especially too, from being over in the USA to kind of get an
Yeah.
understanding. This has been a great conversation. Before we get to our final question for today, how can folks connect with you and find your business?
Well, I think the easiest way would just simply be through LinkedIn. I'm on it all the time because I represent lots of businesses on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn would be really easy. So it's Alan Ramsay. Just search for me for Associaction Enterprises Limited on LinkedIn, and I would be happy to reach out and connect in that way.
Well, definitely. Thank you so much, Alan, for sharing your information. Final question of the day is, what is most inspiring to you today?
Uh, this podcast, if you don't mind me saying, I've never done anything like this, so I've learned something new in having this type of interaction. I was really excited about it, a little bit nervous. I hadn't met you before, didn't really know what to expect, although I did read your page that you very kindly provided. But again, it's challenging. It's doing something new.
Mhm. Wow. Well, thank you so much, Alan. This has been so inspiring. And to all of our listeners, be sure to like and subscribe because you get this great content from business owners around the globe and in your local area, which is the best part. So thank you so much, Alan, for being on the show today.
Oh, you're welcome. Good to see you.